Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. Good afternoon, everyone. Hey! Now, influencers. Do they really influence? I'm going to take you on a journey today, and by the end of today's session, if you don't know the answer, do influencers influence? I'm going to quit my account. How does that sound? All right. Man, influencers suck. Or do they? Oh, you're about to find out today. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ivan Vantagiato. For more than 12 years, I have been obsessed with communication, with sales, with marketing, with how we communicate with one another. And I love it. Now, when I'm not on stage, I'm racing. Now, who here is a motorsport fan? Okay, all right, we got some of you here. I'm a very, very competitive person. But some of you don't know me as Ivan Vantagiato. Some of you know me as the Crypto Serpent. Now, do I have some serpents in the house tonight? Make some noise. Oh, look at you guys. Thank you all so very much. Some of you have come here all the way from Perth. Some of you are even here from Singapore, and I just want to say, thank you all so very much. This journey for me started 16 months ago. And if you told me 16 months ago that I would be here with you today, I probably would have agreed with you. That's how much I believe in this space. Now, those are the channels that I've built. I've done that over a course of a year and a half. And it's incredible. Like, you know, some of you are meeting for the very first time this weekend. And you guys know so much about me. Like, you actually listen. It's incredible. It's incredible the power that an influencer has in 2022. Now, when I'm not the Crypto Serpent, I run an agency with my co-founder, Andy, called Bank Media. Now, we are a Web3 marketing agency that wants to help crypto projects in 2022 and beyond get out there and be recognized for what they truly are. Because a lot of people focus their efforts on building their blockchain, their business, but they don't focus enough on the actual marketing side of it. Now, I got news for you. It's not best burger that wins. It's best known burger that wins. And that is a really, really important aspect of marketing. You could be the best in the world. If nobody knows about you, nobody knows about you. It's really, really important to understand this. But today we're not talking about Bank Media. We're not talking about the Crypto Serpent. Today we're talking about influencers. And do they influence? The world has changed. Can we all agree? Who's got a TikTok account? I mean, this is addictive stuff, right? I mean, you could be spending 25 minutes without even blinking, and you're just addicted to this thing, right? Because it's just the way that it's been built. Now, back in December 2019, only 16% of businesses wanted to use TikTok to market their business. Fast forward to last year, 68% of businesses now want to use TikTok to market their business. That is a monstrous increase, and it is dominating across the industry. Now, just how impactful are these social media platforms? Well, 50% of all the social media platforms, like we just spend all of our time on them. 75% of consumers rely on social media to inform them on purchase decisions. 75%. I mean, can you guys make a decision without listening to us? Like, it's a crazy number. 90% of people will trust their friend. So if I come up to you and say, hey, listen to the Crypto Serpent, about 90% of you will actually listen to the Crypto Serpent. And by the way, listen to the Crypto Serpent. Now, 84% will take action based on opinion of others. So it is safe to say that in 2022, what we say and how we say it has a real impact out there in the world. Not just influencers, right? But I mean, you and I can make a difference. If we say something with conviction, 84% of people are going to listen to us. That is a big number. Very, very big number. So TikTok. TikTok has dominated the social media platform space. And they've done so because they understand human psychology. And human psychology says that if I like, for example, sports cars, well, TikTok knows that they need to show me more content about sports cars, and I will stay on there for longer. I mean, really, when you think about it, it's genius. I mean, nobody really wants to know on Facebook that you've checked in somewhere nowadays, do you? I mean, it's become almost obsolete. So how is TikTok taking over? Well, its actual growth has been 255%. It's incredible. Now, some of the most popular hashtags are hashtag finance, hashtag crypto, hashtag stock talk, hashtag taxes, and crypto. Anyways, we'll talk about that another time. And also real estate investing. So there is a lot going on in TikTok when it comes to people wanting to learn more about investing, about diversifying. People are going on these social media platforms to learn more about it. Now, what defines an influencer? So a nano influencer is somebody with 1,000 followers to 5,000 followers. Do I have any of them in the room today? 1,000 followers to 5,000 followers. Fantastic. A micro influencer nowadays is 5,000 to 10,000 followers. Do I have any of those in the room today? Few hands. Mid-tier influencers are 10 to 50,000. Macro are 50 to 500,000. And then we've got the mega influencers. Now we're talking about the Kardashians of the world. We're talking about the big millions of accounts, millions of impressions every single day. They have a huge following, and they've earned it, right? Because they've built it over time. And it does take time to build a large influence, a large audience of that size. But the impact it has, well, let's have a look at that. So do they really influence? 52% of Gen Zs will trust an influencer. That is, out of 100 people, 52 people will trust what I say. I mean, that is incredible. But also a lot of responsibility for the influencers. Now, influencers do have kind of like a bad rap. You've got the ones that people love and adore, and just about anything that they say, people will trust. But then you've got some influencers which are kind of like the modern age car salesman, where people know that their only reason for being on social media is to sell you stuff. And so it is a huge responsibility as an influencer, because you know that 52% of the next generation are actually going to take you serious. So it's really, really important to have high ethics, because people trust you. Now, if you're a business, you're probably wondering, by the way, who are the business owners in the room? Wow. If you're a business, you're probably wondering, influencers, can I get my return on investment? At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? I don't care who you are, how many followers you got. If I spend $1 with you, will I make 2 back, at least? 89% of businesses that have run influencer campaigns over the last 3 years have said that it's been comparable or better than other channels, which means that they're getting a positive return on their investment. Now, influencer marketing, and if we look at the curve from 2019 to 2023, back in 2019, only $2.42 billion was spent on influencer marketing. Fast forward to next year, that is almost double. So influencer marketing is definitely here to stay. And the reason why it's here to stay is because they actually influence. That is the main point of what is going on in today's society. You could run Facebook ads. You could run Instagram ads. You could even run your own TikTok ads for your business. But why? Why do we use influencers? Well, they've built their trust. I mean, some of you are in this room today on my say-so. I said, hey, I'm going to be in the Gold Coast on the weekend, and you decided to jump on a plane, book a hotel, just to see me. I mean, that is trust. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Brand relevance. Some influencers, that their style, the way they speak, the audience that they have, is very similar to your brand, and that's why you'd want to use them. They are high in volume, so they have big numbers of following that follow them, and their fans are loyal. Just ask the serpents how loyal they are. And they will advocate. So when I say something, my followers go and say it themselves. I mean, they now started to call themselves serpents. It didn't come overnight. It came over a 16-month period. And so ultimately, they do have influence. But how much? How much? How much do these influencers cost? Because ultimately, that is also a very important factor as a business owner. How much does it cost to have an influencer? Well, micro-influencers, now, you remember how big a micro-influencer was? You've been paying attention? You sure? Still with me? All right. A micro-influencer will cost you approximately a cost per engagement of around 83 cents. Now, if you run a promoted tweet, now we do know how big the Twitter space is in the crypto space, right? They'll cost you 29 cents. I mean, that's cheap, right? Compared to paying 89 cents for an influencer. If you run a sponsored Facebook ad, it'll cost you 57 cents per engagement. So then, why would we pay 83 cents when we can pay 29 cents? Well, you see, a paid tweet is cold. It has no relevance. It's just an ad. Now, I don't know about you, but we get hit with about 3,000 marketing messages per day. You might not recognize it, but your Facebook posts, billboards, everything that is going on in the media. Look at this mega complex trying to sell you, right? So a promoted tweet at 29 cents, it's not as warm as, say, Crypto Serpent talking about your brand. And so that's why they do cost more, but they've built their community, they've built that trust. And so even though they cost more, the return on investment turns out to be a lot better. Now, if you are looking to hire an influencer, you gotta ask yourself as a brand, what's my strategy? Most brands at this point, they get confused. What is your strategy? What are you trying to do? Because if you don't know what you're trying to do, I can assure you the influencer will not know what you're trying to do as well. And so it's really important. Are you trying to get more business? Are you trying to spread more awareness for your product? That is a really, really important factor. Now, when we talk about strategy and we talk about influencer marketing, if we're talking about increasing product consideration, then in influencer marketing terms, it's about reach, discover new target customers. That's what it's all about. And so as a business, it's really important to understand, are you trying to drive new sales? Are you trying to increase awareness for an upcoming promotion, perhaps an upcoming event, like a convention? So be very, very clear on what you're trying to do. And so setup. Be very clear about what you're trying to do and how you want to do it. How you're going to manage. There's also a very important factor. What kind of answers and how you're going to analyze what is working and what is not working. Which social media channels it is going to be shared on and what that looks like. Because this is a very important factor. And then analyze and track. We need to track absolutely everything. Because at the end of the day, these are the 10 steps that we follow as an agency when it comes to influencer marketing. We want to have a defined campaign objective. What is the exact campaign goal that we're looking to have? We want to define it. We want to define the budget. We want to choose the right influencers. We want to have a review process that is very strict. Develop the campaign guidelines. Finalize the campaign expectations. Of course, we want to reward the influencers that are going to be involved in the campaign. We want to measure the result, and we want to follow trends. We want to follow what's working and what's not working. And so when we find something that's working, we need to drive it home. But how do we attract influencers to talk about our projects? Perhaps maybe even for free. It's very simple. Branding. You need to have very, very good branding. If you look at the projects out there that influencers talk for free about, they have great branding. They have a great social media strategy. They're relevant. And they know what they're doing and how they're going to achieve the next target goals. They have a growth strategy for their social channels. And so an influencer will pick up on that. They'll be like, these guys are trending. So if I speak about them, I'm going to be trending as well. If you look at the top projects out there and why influencers talk about them for free, it's because they're trending. And that is a very, very important aspect. Are the founders on LinkedIn? Are the founders on Twitter? Do they speak often? These are all important factors because it builds trust. And that ultimately is one of the key foundations. And this one, you see, I've learned something across the last 16 months. There is not enough businesses focusing on search engine optimization. At the end of the day, apart from TikTok, we do Google. So when we want something, when we need something, we Google it. And so there is a huge focus as an industry on building Twitter spaces, building Discord communities, building social channels. But at the end of the day, only 7% of the world is currently in crypto. And so for a lot of newbies, they are going on Google and typing in their questions. And guess what? If you pop up, you'll win the business. And also, it's really, really important to give a lot of value and have a great blog strategy. Again, what has it got to do with influencers? Well, if you have a great blog, if you have great branding, if you have great social media strategy, these influencers will find you. They will want to be involved with you. So you attract them instead of you going out there to attract the influencers. And so to attract the best talent, you need to set world-class standards. That is what it comes down to. You need to set standards so high, and you need to dominate your industry, your sector, in whichever industry you're in, and that's how the influencers will actually want to work with you rather than you having to reach out to them. And ultimately, in this space, it's the projects with the best community that win. It's the best communities that win. And I'll say it again, just so that you guys drive at home, it's the best communities that win. It's not the best blockchain, it's not the best solution to a problem, it's having the best community that wins, because it's the community that will talk about you. It's the community that will buy into your vision and your mission as a brand. And so, yes, you could have the best blockchain in the space. You could be solving the best problem that there is, but you got no community, you got nothing. And so I really want you guys to understand that this afternoon. So as a business, where does influencer marketing sit? It actually sits last, because you've got all of this to do before you get to influencer marketing. You need to have a great social media strategy. You need to have a great website with a great blog strategy. You need to have a plan for your content. You need to have ads where crypto people are. Banner advertising, search engine optimization, and attend conferences like you are attending this weekend, which, by the way, the guys have done a great job being the very first one. Really, really well done. And then we get to influencer marketing. So it's really, really, really important as a business to understand that if you want the best influencers to work with you, you got to get all of those right. If you get them right, the next step is easy. At Bank Media, before we work with an influencer, we have a 25-point check. There are certain things that I'm looking for. Remember earlier I was saying that some influencers are like car salesmen? they're too spammy, they post too many ads, all they talk about is things that can make them money. Well, that's on our checklist. We look for that. We look for real followers, real likes, real comments. It's really, really important because guess what? They can trick those. They can get the fake likes. They can get the fake comments. They can get so many things that it will blow your mind that it looks real, but it's not real. So it's really, really important that you check who you're working with, how you're working with them, and ultimately how it all works, because it's going to make a big difference whether the campaign is going to be a successful campaign or a not a successful campaign. So what are our main tips for getting started with crypto influencers? Find the influencers based on your goals. There is no shortage of influencers out there. From 1,000 followers to 5,000, there are thousands of influencers. From 10 to 50,000, there are a little less, but there are many, many influencers. Consider having an ambassador program. So one of my biggest tips when it comes to influencer marketing is to foster long-term relationships. Yeah, you know, the occasional having an influencer for one-off tweet or a one-off TikTok or a one-off YouTube video, it does work. But if their audience, the influencer's audience, sees your content and your company more often, it's better. Have the long-term partnerships. Takes time. It's a little bit more work, but I promise you, it does work. It does work. Foster long-term relationships and have that over a 12-month period. It'll be much better than having just a one-off tweet or a one-off influence. And remember that what gets tracked gets improved. Track everything. Before you even start to spend $1 on influencer marketing, ask yourself, how am I going to track it? And if you're using an agency, how are they going to track it? Because you want to know where your money's going. And so, do influencers influence? Yes. Thank you. We got 3 more minutes. Any questions in the room? No? Thank you.